Hi guys, my name is Fuman and today we're going to learn about when is a pandemic over. So let's return to about 2020. So at that time, you remember that there is a very dangerous pandemic which called COVID-19 which um, which affected a lot of people around you and also your family as well. It makes a lot of people die and it increased the death toll of people affected by that viruses. Otherwise, COVID-19 also have um, like a very special version of itself which called SARS-CoV-2, and that is much more dangerous than COVID-19. So at that time, you also have many fears about COVID-19 and you wonder when will it over. So so how can people come through a pandemic and when will it stop? And that is our lesson. So virus, they when the virus is uh, it is moved from one people to another, or it can be started at the animals, like at there will be some virus inside the pork that we eat or other kinds of animals. They has carried COVID, they carried viruses in themselves, but then they were they were like they were made into dishes for people to eat. So after that, people have that virus. So when that virus moves from one people and is to another and that is spread widely to a big communication is when the pandemic and the pandemic is uh, set when the when the WHO, which is World Health Organization, they said that pandemic is a, like a health problem or disease that spread infection that spread worldwide. So how is it going depends on the government's activities. For example, we have three main options. First is racing through. So let's talk about it. Racing through, which is racing through is widely considered best by people, but that is not because like racing to allow people to be exposed to virus um, like than two other options because when we race through it the government do nothing so that when people is affected by the virus meet another they will make the other one they will infect it, the other one, and then the virus will spread widely without any preparation so that people will be exposed to that much more sooner. So in that circumstances, there will be an increase in death toll so that it led to like the hospital they will reach their highest capabilities so they cannot treat all of the patients and they're also combined with the doctors with no preparation which is knowledge about that virus they cannot treat the patients and they cannot help them at all so people will die in a very like in a very violent way. Otherwise, in the second options, we have delay in vaccinations. So in these circumstances, So let's move back again. It will slow the spread, and it will give the scientists time to research for vaccines for this virus, and they combine with physical distances, which will slow down the death toll and the people infected people, so that they will like the toll will decrease. But actually, if we slow it down, it will like with much more time, and the vaccines is not being invented yet. There will be 100 to 1,000 deaths. But otherwise, the city, they will like people in those one cities, they will be infected, but on the under control of the government. So after that, they can go to work again after being vaccinated. But so if like the pandemic is over before the vaccine is is invented, but actually then that pandemic can also uh, like come to that pandemic again. Why? When because the virus, they can be spread seasonally, so that if we don't have pandemic, they will be affect people a lot or for a long period of time, and other periods of time also. So we have the third options, which is coordinate and crush. Coordinate, which is a combine of quarantine, which is the people which is infected. First, they will be kept in a space that not that is separated from the other parts of the world, so you can treat them and have them overcome that disease, but don't make anybody else infected by the virus. And then you can have some social distancing, which make people live in their home and not move to the outer space or on the street. Then you need to restrict the traveling uh, of the people, because like when like in the circumstances, the first country is has been infected by the virus, but you don't restrict the traveling, so then like the residents in that country, they will move to the second country and make that country infected by the virus, because the virus will spread to the residents in the second country. So after that, the world will all be infected by that virus. So if we have restricting travel, people can't do that. And after that, if one country they has been infected and they don't have they have restricting travel, then the information of that country will transmit to the other country, and the world will know about that dangerous disease, and they have some preparation for themselves. So if is good enough, it will become an interconnected system. And otherwise, the if is this coordinate and crush is completely is completely complete, the pandemic will stop in just a few months with low loss of life. And if it's eradicating, they will push to escalating to pandemic levels again if we don't have any more preparation for it, if the virus spread in some regions that have it. So at the end, we found out that after COVID-19, the world found out that delay in vaccinations is the best choice, because the vaccines, after some, when we have overcome that pandemic once, and then we'll have information about it to destroy it, to eradicate it again, and then when it spread widely again, we can use that vaccines to help people overcome it. Or if there are some like vaccines like didn't work anymore, we can have based on that vaccines to create more efficient vaccines for people. And that's the end of the video. Thank you for your listening.